Peter Schiff from Euro-Pacific Capital is in Tampa. Are you a skeptic, Peter? I know that you tend to take a doom and gloom view of America's finances. Do you think that Governor Romney, if elected, could fix things?
Well, he's not going to prevent the crisis. We're headed for a real economic collapse, regardless of who wins this election. My hope, though, is that Romney will have a better understanding of why it's happening and might be more likely to entertain a free market solution, which would be the exact opposite of what George Bush did, in that allowing the recession to run its course, uninterrupted by stimulus and bailouts, and actually do what really needs to be done to get this country on a solid footing, which is to dramatically reduce the size of government, slash spending, cut regulations. He's not talking about that right now. He's talking about growing government, just like Obama, with more spending on Medicare, more spending on Social Security, more spending on national defense. But we can't afford that. We need a real change, and we need to downsize government. And hopefully, in the aftermath of a crisis, we'll get that.
You can't get elected, though, can you? I mean, can you really get elected President of the United States and run the Senate and run the House if you go out there and say, I'm sorry, we're spending too much, I'm cutting Social Security, I am cutting Medicare, I'm cutting these government handouts? In this modern age, Peter, you're not going to get elected.
Well, we never know. No one's ever tried it before. I mean, everybody just panders. Nobody wants to tell the truth. Everybody is afraid of, they're going to shoot the messenger.
But Ron Paul said it. I mean, come on, Ron Paul said it, and what did the man get? Maybe 10% of the vote?
Well, if he would have got the media coverage of Romney, he might have won. I mean, he got a lot of support.
Peter,
no, he didn't, Stuart. Oh, come on. No, he didn't.
He got a lot of coverage. He's got a vigorous group of supporters who are out there all the time.
Stuart,
he got a lot of coverage.
All the coverage he got, Stuart, all the coverage he got was why he couldn't win, why he was so far out there, why he didn't have a chance. I mean, maybe towards the end, by the time it was too late. But if he'd have gotten the type of coverage early on, if they had taken him seriously in New Hampshire, in Iowa, that it might have been different. But I agree, it's difficult to get elected telling the truth. That's the problem.
It's impossible.
That's the problem with democracy.
It's impossible.
It's not impossible. Look, there are some people that have won some primaries for the U.S. Senate and for the Congress that have told the truth. We'll see if they ultimately get elected. But, look, Rand Paul got elected to U.S. Senate. I mean, he was telling it like it is. So, I mean, you can get elected.
Let's go back to Governor Romney. His plan is tax reform, lower tax rates, fewer deductions, and long-term entitlement reform. Now, isn't that a plan, at least, which would surely work over the long term if implemented? No? Have we gone too far?
No, he's talking about reform, not cuts. They're committed to increasing Social Security and increasing Medicare. That's not reform. And they're also saying that nobody over the age of 55 is going to lose a nickel. That is impossible.
No, wait a minute.
That's going to bankrupt the country.
But they're talking about using market forces to reduce the cost of Medicare outlays and reduce the cost long-term of Social Security.
No, but that's not going to work. What's going to reduce the cost is cutting the benefits. The government has overpromised. These are gigantic Ponzi schemes. They do not work. Meanwhile, the only reason the economy hasn't collapsed is because the interest rates are artificially low. The Fed cannot keep interest rates low indefinitely. And when interest rates go up, the party is over. And then we're not going to have, we're not going to have the choice anymore. We're going to have to finally deal with these problems or destroy our currency. And that is going to be a real economic crisis that will make 2008 look like a walk in the park.
Give me a time frame, Peter. When does the crunch hit us?
It's going to happen in the next administration. I hope it happens early enough that at least the blame doesn't go on capitalism again. I'd hate to have Romney be in there for a couple of years and then it falls apart and somehow capitalism gets the blame, even though it's not. I mean, it's going to be the same big government policies that were pursued by Obama and Bush. But, that is the danger that Republicans face. If they think that all we have to do is elect Romney and everything is better, we can't fix these problems by repealing Obamacare and cutting taxes. We have structural problems that underlie the U.S. economy that are very deep and require real free market reforms. And unfortunately, none of the major candidates are even talking about that right now.
You see, Peter? Ron Paul's position got a lot of exposure right here, right now, through you. Peter Schiff, everybody. Go on.
Too little, too late, though.
No. Peter Schiff, we always appreciate you being with us. Thank you very much, Peter.
Sure.
Good luck.